From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We still have plenty of sunshine outside this evening, but notice on satellite and radar a lot of cloud cover beginning to gather to our west, and that will be moving in overnight tonight and sticking around for tomorrow as well. Temperatures currently sitting in the mid to upper 30s, 36 degrees in Lansing and St. John's, 37 our current temperature in Jackson. Cloud cover will increase as we go throughout the overnight hours. Temperatures will be at average for tomorrow, but enjoy it while you can because those cooler conditions are right around the corner. 6 News at 5 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 5.
An end seems to be in sight for the Israel-Hezbollah conflict, and it is our top story today at 5. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Jones. President Joe Biden announced that the U.S. has helped broker a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon to end the fighting there. Our Natalie Brand is here for you with more.
President Biden announced a U.S. brokered ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah.
Under the deal reached today, effective at 4 a.m. tomorrow local time, the fighting across the Lebanese-Israeli border will end.
The deal will be implemented immediately, but in phases, giving Israel 60 days permitted for the withdrawal of its forces. Even as negotiations continued Tuesday, an Israeli airstrike hit a residential building in Beirut. Lebanon's health ministry says attacks have killed more than 3,500 people since fighting started and displaced more than 1 million. On the Israeli side, about 90 soldiers and nearly 50 civilians have been killed in the north and tens of thousands displaced.
Civilians on both sides will soon be able to safely return to their communities and begin to rebuild their homes, their schools, their farms, their businesses.
The Biden administration hopes a ceasefire deal in Lebanon could provide momentum for ending the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza.
By de-escalating tensions in the region, it can also help us to end the conflict in Gaza. In particular, Hamas will know that it can't count on other fronts opening up in the war.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the administration is in communication with the incoming Trump administration and hopes continuity leads to peace and security in the region. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
A Trump transition official said the president-elect is committed to peace in the Middle East and added, quote, President Trump rightfully predicted that actors in the region would make moves toward peace because of his historic victory. And be sure to stay with 6 News on air, online, and through our 6 News app for the latest on the ceasefire proposal. Well, 2 political consultants are questioning the leadership role of Governor Gretchen Whitmer in dealing with the legislature as the lame duck session continues. Capitol correspondent Tim Skubic is here for you with what they had to say.
Governor disengaged from the process.
Feels like it. I mean, you can only say yes, right?
Yeah, you know, I have continued to have an open dialogue with the leaders of all 4 caucuses.
Those comments from Governor Whitmer came just after the election. More recently, these Democratic and Republican consultants are watching what the governor has done so far in the lame duck. And, well, they're critical of her performance.
2024 Gretchen Whitmer is not the same as the 2018 Gretchen Whitmer. She was the one that was saying, I'm going to fix the roads, I'm going to fill the potholes, I'm going to take care of the day-to-day, as she would say, kitchen table issues. The 2024 Gretchen Whitmer is the Dorito video, is positioning for something after Michigan. She has to come back and take charge of what's happening there.
Mr. Heeman was reminded that the governor has said she's working with lawmakers and the legislative leaders.
And so I would anticipate that we'll get a number of things done during lame duck.
What are her priorities other than handing out a bag of money to get a chips factory? Like, what are her legislative priorities? What does she want to see this legislature pass before the end of the year? I don't think we know the answer to that question. I don't think most lawmakers do either. And that legislature is thirsty for her leadership.
The 2 critics will have a chance to evaluate the governor's performance on the road fix issue, as now the House Republican leader, the incoming Speaker Matt Hall, has proposed a road fix plan without a tax increase. They are willing to talk to Mr. Hall and anyone else who wants to seriously work on her signature issue, an issue that she introduced during her first year in office, was defeated, and never reintroduced in the legislative process, although she did pass a bonding program to fix the roads. Here for you in Lansing, Tim Skubic, 6 News.
From state politics to national now, President-elect Donald Trump is threatening to use tariffs as a way to stop the flow of illegal drugs and migrants into the United States. Making good on a campaign promise, the president-elect threatened on social media that one of his first executive orders will be to charge Mexico and Canada a 25% tariff on all products coming into the United States. He also will charge China an additional 10% tariff. President-elect Trump says he's putting pressure on those countries to stop the flow of drugs such as fentanyl and migrants from coming across the border.
Question really is, how big are these tariffs going to be? Because this is the first salvo. It could be a negotiation. We don't know for sure.
Now, Mexico's president said she was willing to talk, but suggested today that Mexico could respond with tariffs of its own. And a Chinese embassy official warned that no one will win a trade or tariff war. A new charitable fund focusing on educational support for disadvantaged women and girls is now in place in Jackson. The Jackson Community Foundation and its board of directors announced that the Cheryl R. Norrie Memorial Scholarship Fund, which will join more than 400 existing funds, used to strengthen and build the Jackson community. Grants from this fund will help local charitable causes and students throughout Jackson County. Cheryl worked for the Michigan Automotive Compressor for more than 3 decades in community relations and communications, which included facilitating the Macy Youth Fund and the Macy Scholarship Fund. And speaking of being charitable, it is that time of year again when we're looking for some holiday help for Highfields. The annual Highfields Toy Drive is now underway, and we're looking for new unwrapped toys, books, or clothing. We'll take anything for infants through 18-year-olds. You can drop off your donation right here at the WLNS TV6 studios in Lansing or at any participating Ford dealerships. And you can do it now through December 15th. The Highfields Toy Drive is just one more way that 6 News is here for you.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Hopefully you were able to find some time and enjoy all of the sunshine that we had across mid-Michigan today, because going forward we have a lot of cloud cover and some big changes coming to our temperatures. Our temperature outlook actually shows much of the eastern half of the United States going to see temperatures falling well below normal as we move into the first few days in the month of December. Now, we still are going to be fairly mild tomorrow. High temperatures will be at average in the low 40s, but notice after that we see a big cool down. Temperatures below average after that, and our high temperatures as we move into the weekend and much of next week aren't even going to make it above the freezing mark, and that cool down also going to come along with the chance for snow as well. No precipitation in the forecast tonight. However, cloud cover will be increasing across mid-Michigan. Wednesday night into early Thursday morning, there is going to be a very weak area of low pressure passing to our south. Can't completely rule out an isolated sprinkle, especially for those of us along and south of I-94, but most of us are going to stay completely dry. Those dry and mostly cloudy conditions will carry through as we go into our Thursday, but then Thursday night, those cooler temperatures begin to move in. We start to increase the winds, and it's a perfect recipe for some lake effect snow. I do think in terms of travel impacts, Thursday we are going to be in the clear. Friday, most of the impacts that we have from these lake effect snow showers are going to be well off to our west over towards Grand Rapids and then down towards Kalamazoo. Now, we're not looking at anything significant in terms of snowfall accumulations across our area. Notice the odds that we see at least 2 inches of snow still going to be incredibly low across mid-Michigan, but I do think the highest impacts that we are going to see likely going to occur on Friday and then likely on Sunday as well, just with some slushy and slick roads across mid-Michigan. Definitely not the case today. In fact, it was absolutely beautiful across mid-Michigan and still is this evening. We have mostly sunny conditions right now here in Lansing. Temperatures 36 degrees, but our winds are incredibly strong, sustained at 20 miles per hour. That drops our feels like temperatures all the way down into the mid to low 20s. Another very sunny view over in Grand Ledge. Temperatures at 36 degrees after a high of 41. Our peak wind gusts a whopping 36 miles per hour for our Tuesday thus far. A beautiful sunset over in the city of Jackson. Winds coming out of the southwest. Feels like temperatures currently sitting in the upper 20s. And our final stop over in the city of Hillsdale, currently at 38 after a high temperature of 42 degrees today. As we go throughout the overnight hours, temperatures falling down into the upper 20s with mostly cloudy returning across the area. For tomorrow, really not going to be all that bad. A couple of peaks of sunshine possible throughout the day, but overall it looks like the cloud cover going to win out. But temperatures are going to be warmer than we were today, topping out in the low 40s. Again, enjoy it while you can, because after that we have highs in the upper 30s, but at least we're dry now for Thanksgiving. And then those lake effect snow showers start to move in. We do have a little bit of a warming trend as we move into next week, but overall we're still going to have high temperatures in the low 30s, overnight lows in the low 20s to upper teens. But overall it does look like it is going to be mainly dry once we at least get past the forecast that we have for this upcoming weekend.
All right, very good. Well, today it was, the sun was great,
Yes.
but when that wind picked up a couple times, that was very chilly. I mean, we're talking wind chills.
Oh yeah, so wind chill temperature is still going to be an issue tonight. Then it'll start to calm down briefly.
All right. Thank you, Kendall. Well, you know what? Silver Bells is behind us, and Thanksgiving is just a couple days away. 6 News is also kicking up another holiday tradition, and we need your help. We want to recognize remarkable women here in Mid-Michigan who make a difference for their families and the greater community. To make a submission, just click on the Remarkable Women section of our website, WLNS.com, and tell us all about the remarkable woman in your life. We'll pick 4 of them and profile them during Women's History Month in March. You have until December 20th to nominate someone.